On Channels Television, I'm Millicent Walker. On the news this hour, President Muhammadu Buhari constitutes Economic Advisory Council headed by Professor Doyin Salami, replaces Vice President-led Economic Management Team. After 8 weeks of recess, the House of Representatives resumes plenary amidst pending crucial bills waiting for deliberations. Over 300 Nigerians slated to return home today across diplomatic shuttle in the wake of tension between Nigeria and South Africa over xenophobic attacks. A special envoy from South Africa tenders apology. Welcome everyone to the program. We'll begin this noon with President Muhammadu Buhari setting up an Economic Advisory Council, EAC, following the dissolution of the Economic Management Team. The Advisory Council is to advise the President on economic policy matters and would report directly to his office. Now, in a statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Mr. Femi Adesina, the Council would be expected to also advise the President on fiscal analysis, economic growth and a range of internal and global economic issues, working with the relevant cabinet members and heads of monetary and fiscal agencies. The EAC will have monthly technical sessions as well as scheduled quarterly meetings with the President. And the chairman may, however, request for unscheduled meetings if the need arises. President Buhari constitutes Economic Advisory Council. The EAC is made up of the following members: the chairman, Professor Doyin Salami, Dr. Mohammed Sagagi, the vice chairman, Professor Ode Ojowo, a member, Dr. Shehu Yahya, another member, Dr. Yabo Masha, another member, Professor Chukuma Soludo, a member, Mr. Bismarck Rewani, another member, and Dr. Mohammed Adaya Salisu, the secretary, who's the senior special assistant to the President, Development Policy. So let's take a look at what this means, perspectives on the newly constituted Economic Management Team. We're being joined by guests who, a few of them are in Abuja studios. We'd like to thank you for coming. Mr. Ike Chukelue, a political analyst, and also Mr. Catch Ononuju. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, my first question will be to Mr. Ononuju, and that is, this move by the President, does it renew your trust in the government, or is this another, what you have called in the past, rhetoric?
Well, the reasons why I previously said all his words were rhetoric was because I did not see this. In the United States, by law from 1946, a Council of Economic Advisors was actually established. So when I did not see any Council of Economic Advisors since 4 years, coming, I didn't take anything that was coming from the government economically important and relevant. And that's what you saw as the economy tanked. And last week when I came here, and they said they were bringing consumption taxes. And I said, no, you don't tax a GDP that is as low as ours. You don't tax a country with so low per capita income as low as ours. Instead of learning from countries like Ghana, where taxes have been abolished on everything, why bringing these consumption taxes, which I believe was actually punitive and very bad for the economy. And that was why I insisted that these sustained depression of the economy is as a consequence of the absence of any Council of Economic Advisors. So when I got a call yesterday from the presidency to say that the complaints are being looked at and there will be people, I said, publish their names and let me see. The names were published, and I said, fine, this is good. It's one thing to set up a committee. It's another thing to agree to go by their recommendations. So I welcome this move by the government. I applaud the government. I believe this shows that the government listens to what we're saying. We cannot make progress in these modern times without proper economic guidance by reputable men. Even though I question why will the central bank governor be suddenly put in a place or to work underneath people who do not understand who they are. Soludo should be put at the head of this economic team for his previous records.
Let's get your thoughts, Mr. Chikelue, a political analyst. Do you think this is a political move ahead of 2023, which a few people have been talking about?
Yeah, thank you very much. A little correction. My name is Engineer Ike Chidolue, not Chikelue.
Thank you.
You know, it goes without saying, this is a bold, positively formidable, very courageous vision by Mr. President to appoint, you know, economic success stories. These are mentors. These are industry mentors, you know, in our economy. These are people that have proven themselves beyond, I mean, locally and globally. Most of them are advisors to international organizations, the World Bank. You know, he mentioned Soludo, you know, former central bank governor, I mean, Bismarck. I mean, these are people, you know, when you look at it, another way to look at it is that the past 4 years, the management team were, you know, ministers, you know, you call them the fiscal guys. They were interested in the fiscal policies. Now, the next level that Mr. President is talking about, he's looking at the economy, you know, leapfrogging it. And to leapfrog it, you needed people that have a very good handle on fiscal policy, people that have good handle on implementation of this policy, people that have good handle on monitoring the policies, people that have good handle on developmental, economic, people that have good handle on macroeconomy. You know, so government, the president got people that have all these things together. So for me, last 4 years was like white rice. Going forward is jollof. So the president brought people that can make this thing happen. And even somebody from the opposition, my brother Kachi, is excited. If Kachi is excited, even though he amuses himself by saying that they called him from the presidency yesterday to tell him about it, you know, but the thing is that if he's excited, a lot of people are excited.
Let's
it
quickly
doesn't matter
we've
whether
since been
Professor
joined.
Soludo is
Hold
the
on one moment.
Hold on.
We've
It doesn't
been
matter whether
joined
Soludo
in our
is
Lagos studio by Mr. Bukka Kyari, former chairman, Nigeria Economic Summit Group. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right. One question many people are also wondering is why the change, economic management team to the Economic Advisory Council?
The Council of Economic Advisors are actually, number one, it's a commendable move. It's a bit late. The saying is that better late than never, right? Because this should have been the first thing that should have happened 4 years ago, for example.
That's why many are saying it might be a political move.
Exactly. I wouldn't put any undertones to the motive or motivation behind the implementation now. I think there has to be institutionalization of the Economic Advisory Council going forward. The reason is that ministers and department heads and on the fiscal side have interest, and their interest is more on how they can go about implementing fiscal policies. Whereas the Council of Economic Advisors, just based on the framework that had been stated in that press release, is that they are going to look at both monetary and fiscal policy, coordination of it, internal and external effects on the economy, and how to look for strategies on how best to navigate issues that are arising both domestically as well as globally. Now, those are key things that affects an economy. And if you put it all on just the fiscal side or on the monetary side, you would have a quite an unbalanced look at things. Or if there is no proper coordination between the monetary and the fiscal policies, what you would tend to get is pull and push on both sides. And therefore, there won't be coordination. We will not be facing in the same direction. And there would be a seesawing effect on even as the economy continues to either underperform or in some cases even dovetail into recession like it had happened a few years ago.
So you have high expectations of the country?
Looking at the caliber of individuals named, some are very well known to me. And I do believe very strongly that these are eminent and well-qualified professionals. And if you look at them, every one of them had a key specialist area of specialization that together would become a formidable force in giving the right policy advice as well as right kinds of economic even outlook and the best economic policies we should adopt as an emerging economy.
Let's get back to Mr. Ononuju, and this is for you. I mean, the economic management team was chaired by the Vice President, and the EAC will be chaired by the President. Do you see anything, any undertone with regards to this? Do you think the change of baton would affect its implementation? What are your expectations?
Well, I believe the actions and the directives probably shows you how very worried the president feels that previously he's allowed the team guided by the vice president to guide economic policy, and in his own ways, our complaints and our screamings is based on what he believes to be the failure of that team. Now, he wants a team that will report directly to him. Now, what you are seeing is in line with the U.S. laws. The Council of Economic Advisors, as set up by law from 1946, actually reports directly to the president. What they do, they analyze economic trends and they do project. It's like what you've seen in America. The success of the U.S. economy to have had this longest period of follicular expansion is due, in principle, to the works of the Federal Reserve Board system. And that is what I think the president seems to be targeting. I believe this is the very best thing to do. Allow a presidential linked group that reports directly to the president, either on a quarterly or on a monthly basis, to take charge of the economy. Because when we started seeing people recommending tax and spend, that's when I knew the economy was not going to get no well, and that simply meant a failure of economic policy when you start, embracing a policy of tax and spend in an economy that was already in a recession. So I believe what he has done simply sends a message. I want to take charge. I want the new people I appoint to work directly under me, and that is very welcome. I love the strength of quality and diversity of the new team. I am, yes, very, very welcoming of very distinct. I believe this is the right thing we should have done. I believe we should have done this 4 years before now.
Let's hear from Engineer Chidelu beside you. And, one question many Nigerians want to know is if this is the team that would really lift Nigerians out of poverty. And the president has said 100 million Nigerians in 10 years.
Yeah, thank you. Definitely. It's good to know where we're coming from. The EMT are part of the team that developed the Economic Recovery Management Plan. So it's like they've served out the goals of which they were set up. The new team, the advisory team, are actually people that are going to take the pulse of the economy from the job sector to the table of the president. People fail to realize that this is a plan. And the president, you can't be on the outside saying that you have more information than the person looking at the economy, the people that have drawn out the plan, and knowing at what point to inject, the leapfrog that they need for the economy. And now with these people, it shows that the last 4 years we've done this. This one, the focus is on the economy. And what is the goal? What is the goal? One of the goals is 100 million jobs in the next 10 years. And to do this, you need people like the team, Professor Salami. You need people that are going to consolidate the gains of all these programs, the Empower, the Nisral, you need people that can consolidate it and look at the SMEs, because, to do the initiation plan for this 100 million jobs has to happen at the, from the SME level, the macro, the micro level. So you need the SMEs.
Let's quickly take a break. We'll come back to continue these discussions with our gentlemen in the studio, and also we'll be bringing you the House of Representatives as they resume plenary today. Please join us again.